Good evening, boys and girls.
Alright, there's no boys allowed here.
Welcome to Metroid Month 2018. Metroid Month! Still got it, baby. We're gonna kick it old school today. We have got the crappy lighting. We have got this unfortunate looking Japanese sun headband. I have this ill-fitting shirt with the nipple exposed, even though I'm too fat to pull it off. So, what to talk about tonight? What's there left? We've talked about pretty much everything possible Metroid related over the last 4 years, so what is there left?
Should I do the top 6 flying enemies in Metroid? I like the scree. The top 6,
Damn you, Nintendo! You're not giving me enough to work with here. You gotta make some new games, you money-grubbing gophers.
But Chip, what about Samus Returns?
Don't these salarymen ever take me into consideration when making their decisions? I got a business to run here too, pal. Shit, I mean, let's just fucking, make Metroid 2 again. Well, too little too late, pal. Shit, what good does a remake do me, especially when they go and release it in September instead of April when they should, because that's when I'm in pre-production for Metroid Month. Wait a minute. I know now what I must do, Eve. We need to review the game that inspired the remake that inspired the remake. Tonight, we're going to review Metroid 2, Return of Samus. But first, Eve, gotta put $1 in the Samus Returns swear jar. Samus Returns is to never be mentioned inside the Pleasure Dome. You understand me? Here, I'll even get a head start on you. I'll put 5 in. It's gonna be a long night.
Ah yes, Metroid 2. You'll call me a hipster when I say this, but I may have to place this game among my favorites in the series.
But how many hipsters do you know that can do this?
How many hipsters would want to?
Who needs dating when you're this flexible?
Boy, did Nintendo really screw the pooch on Samus Returns. I can't believe I burned 8 hours of PTO for that. Now I actually have to work.
Work? Don't these people know that millennials can't work 40 hours a week without going into a stress-induced anxiety attack? So I thought it prudent to give the original a fair and just review in celebration, and to ultimately come to the conclusion that it's better than the Nintendo-produced remake, which sucks my big fat donkey dick!
Released on Japanese shores in the magical year of 1992, the same year as,
Roxy Blue. Nailed it. First try.
Metroid 2 Return of Samus was unveiled on the jaw-dropping graphics of the Nintendo Game Boy. These graphical limitations ended up working to the game's benefit, however, as this forced Nintendo R&D 1 to rethink the look of Samus's suits to indicate the change between the standard Power Suit and the Varia Suit. This, of course, led to the trademark shoulder pads of the Varia Suit, which would become standard in every single Metroid game. Varia Suit? Never a fan. I always found her regular Power Suit sans upgrades to look really cool, my favorite being the version from the opening cutscene of Super Metroid. The plot is identical to Samus Returns, but better because it doesn't have Ridley shoehorned in.
Damn, this episode's gonna bleed me dry.
Okay, I'm sorry, but something needs to be put on wax right here and now regarding the chronology of this game. Here's the order it goes in, you ready? Metroid 86/0 mission is the first one in the chronology. You following so far, donkeys? After that, basically on her way out, since Zebes is in the same solar system as Talon 4, that star being FS-176, she receives a distress signal from the frigate Orphean and begins the Prime series. After that, Samus is just sort of chilling, and then Hunter happens, who cares? Prime 2, Prime 3, then comes Metroid 2 and Super, followed by Other M and Fusion, respectively, though the former doesn't count because it fucking sucks! Metroid Prime Federation Force doesn't count either. Prime 4? Who the hell knows? It's not like we want to find out what happens to Samus after Fusion or anything.
So let's shove it into the commie Super Nintendo and get to ramming.
Right away, you'll take note of the minimalist title theme, which will more or less be indicative of the rest of the game.
I would describe the whole vibe of Metroid 2 as minimalist, from the black and white color scheme all the way down to the music.
With the exception of 2 or 3 distinct tracks, the bulk of the music in the game is atmospheric chirping and 8-bit barf.
But when I say 8-bit barf, I mean that as a term of endearment.
Oh, you mean like how the N-word is a term of endearment?
No, wait, Eve, I never said. But where Other M and Samus Returns failed in their minimalist approach to the score, Metroid 2 did right by having the greatest video game track of all time! Oh yeah, I could listen to this all day and never get tired of it. This is how you start a game off right. What other video game tracks are in F Mixolydian? How can you hear this and not want to get up and dance? Eve, may I have This dance?
I think we scared your last actress away after you propositioned her.
Her loss.
You hear a song like this and you're like, F yeah, let's go blow up some Metroids.
What this does is lull you into a sort of false sense of security. You think that it's gonna be all happy fun times, let's go party in the caves and have an adventure, and then you hit Area 1.
Whenever you enter a new area, the music goes dun 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 dun.
Boom. Perfect change to the atmosphere. You've had your fun, you know the controls, now it's time to get down to business.
This is where the game really shines, I feel, because due to the limitations of the hardware, it forces the player to fill in the blanks with their own interpretations of the area and its story. The caves of SR388 are the supreme in isolation and claustrophobia, which is why Samus Return sucked, because it just threw a bunch of crap in there to look pretty but serve no purpose.
Listen, I'm a rude boy. I want to go outside and play and pretend to be Samus exploring an alien planet. I can't do that because they'll wonder why this teenage tranny is running around the woods making weird noises.
When I was a kid, I pictured SR388 sort of like a cavernous, underground jungle, not unlike Green Brinstar from Super Metroid. I imagined futuristic hallways overgrown with vegetation.
See now, if I made a Metroid game, it would have all the stuff that I like dinosaurs, full frontal nudity.
But enough about that. The first game was hard in that there's 8 tons of crap flying at you at any given time. Ah, shit. This game, not too many enemies to worry about outside of the normal cannon fodder, but those Metroids, whoa. They don't play around. The challenge comes in that Samus can only aim in 4 directions. This was before 8 was invented. So during battle, you're constantly running and jumping and shooting, all while trying to dodge the attacks of the Metroids. Boopity boop boop bop, I'm running around the caves. Oh my god! What's that? Is that a Metroid? That doesn't look like any Metroid I've ever seen.
Return of Samus is unique in that it was the first game to establish a set evolutionary pattern for the Metroid species.
You got Alpha Metroids who charge you, Gamma Metroids who have an electrical attack that can also dodge missiles, Zeta Metroids who can fly and shoot fireballs, and then the big granddaddy, Omega Metroid. Omegas are really big, can fly, shoot fireballs, and take 50 missiles to kill. Drop the mic!
Alright, now listen up, you sons of bitches, because I'm gonna school y'all on the evolution and timeline of Metroid, okay? I'm Dr. Roberts, I'll be your professor this quarter.
What's your doctorate in?
Gynecology.
Metroids come naturally from SR388, as they were specifically engineered for the planet to exterminate the X, and if you didn't know that, then you need to go back to fucking preschool. Cut to Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, there's one room where you see a bunch of dissected Metroids, and it states that the Metroids evolve differently depending on which planet they're on/originate from. So you got the Talon Metroids, who evolve into Hunter Metroids, and then Fission Metroids if exposed to Phazon long enough. Then you got Dark Metroids, who have been exposed to Dark Aether's atmosphere, Phazon Metroids that can shift their phase singularity to warp through walls and dodge missiles, what? Hopper Metroids, Metroid Hatchers, and then eventually Metroid Prime.
But wait, if you follow the NTSC version of the first Prime game, it stated that the pirates captured Metroid Prime, but it was just the core essence, and it later absorbed their weapons and armor that they had lying around the complex. But in the PAL version, the pirates didn't capture Metroid Prime at all, they just knew something was down there, but didn't know what it was. So which version is canon, the PAL version or the NTSC? Wait a minute, if the PAL version is canon, then that means that the Chozo hadn't reached enlightenment and crossed into another dimension, but instead all died of Phazon madness! Do I need to replay the first Metroid Prime game again? I really don't want to, it's kind of boring.
And to bring further validation to my claim, there's another room in Metroid Prime 3 where you scan a holding container, and it mentions that the specimen they retrieved from SR388 had evolved into a new mutation that they hadn't seen before, so it was transferred to another facility for further study.
So now that I've schooled y'all in the Metroid timeline and evolution, let's get back to the game.
So you got Area 1, right? What did AM2R call it? Oh, the Golden Temple. Awesome! What did Samus Returns call it? Oh, Area 1. How creative.
Ah, damn it. It's another $1 in the jar.
This is where you get the bomb, ice beam, and the unique spider ball making its first appearance. The spider ball is essential for exploration. It adds a whole new dimension to the way that you approach puzzles. I find myself using it all the time when looking for secrets.
And the secrets in this game are plenty abound.
There's a pitch black morph ball maze leading to an energy tank, fake walls, pipes, and no in-game map of any kind.
So anyone who tells you that they're a Metroid fan is wrong. Dead wrong. These gophers are nothing but a bunch of posers. This game will make a man out of you, turn you into a goddamn sexual tyrannosaur. Just like me.
The lack of background detail makes the game super claustrophobic. Simply being able to find your way through the labyrinthine caves of SR388 is a challenge in and of itself, especially without a map. But being able to find all the Metroids and power-ups and live, you got a prayer, sister.
This game ain't no cakewalk. I mean, this is pretty freaking hard.
There's this one part where you have to fight a Gamma Metroid in a hallway, but the sticky crap keeps growing back super fast and it closes you in and corners you. Then there's another part, also against a Gamma, where you space jump up a long shaft and have to fight it perched above a single platform suspended in the air.
Awesome! But you know what the best part is?
You're not fucking waiting around or chasing them halfway through the goddamn planet!
If you can play and enjoy this game, then you're a true Metroid fan. But if you play and enjoy Samus Returns, then you're no good commie poser traitor to our country!
Oh look, a pointless boss battle that I have to spend half of waiting through.
I could go into further depth with all the areas and all their nuances, but really, I just wanted to take a few moments to talk about some of my favorite parts of the game.
Remember the part where you go down that pipe or where you're in that hallway with all those flamethrower drones? What about the part where you're in that partially submerged aqueduct and you run into an Alpha Metroid underwater? That was so cool. Remember how when you're running around, you see the exoskeletons lying around and then you run into a new stage, you see them molt and shed their old skin? Remember the part where you're about to enter the Metroid hive and then the music trips out and the meter pops out like 9 more Metroids? That was awesome. Wasn't it rad how before the Queen's lair, you can kind of hear her chirping under the room, or how the lab section is modeled like Turian, presumably because that's the same area where the Chozo worked on the Metroids? Remember the music when you go fight the Queen and she sort of stalks out of her hidey hole and then the music ramps up in intensity the same way that her neck elongates to track Samus's movements? Wasn't it cool how if you shot a missile in the Queen's mouth, it froze her so you could climb in her stomach and lay a bomb? Then the baby hatches and the music is awesome and you run back to your ship and Super Metroid begins?
Ugh. Shit, man. I just like Metroid 2. It sparked my imagination. I've played it so many times. I will forever be inspired by it. And even though Samus Returns was a suckfest, I gotta hand it to him. Had some neat environments and some, pretty atmosphere, but, it's kind of interesting how two teams can take the same game and do two totally, completely different things with it. One's better. It's the fan game. Fuck off.
Chip, what are we gonna do with all the money collected in the Samus Returns jar?
Throw a party.
Woo! Chip, aren't there supposed to be girls at a party?
I'm a girl. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, I'm gonna fix the camera, comment, and share on all of your social media. Don't forget to buy the new solo album. What'd you think of my solo album, Dad? Awesome. It's awesome. He made the guitars that I used to record everything on. So everybody subscribe, like, and namaste. Namaste. Whoa. I'm Samus now. Whoa, watch out, we're losing.